Which stream reaches the ocean first? The one that stays whole, or the one that divides itself among 5 fields? The Split River. In a vast valley nestled between towering hills, there flowed a mighty river named Asera. The river was powerful and swift, carving its path through the landscape, feeding the lush fields that dotted the valley. It hadn't just been a source of water, it had been the source of life. It had always been a symbol of strength and purpose, flowing relentlessly toward the ocean. Its waters nourished the land, ensuring that crops thrived and life in the valley flourished. However, one year a change came. A series of dams were constructed along Asera's path, and the river was divided into 5 smaller streams. Each stream was redirected to water a different field, with each field requiring its own supply of water. The once single, mighty river was now fragmented, its energy spread thin across the land. The farmers who had relied on the river for generations watched as the 5 smaller streams meandered through the fields. They were no longer the strong, swift torrents they had once been. Instead, they slowed down as they split off into multiple directions, their power dispersed. A wise farmer named Ammon, who had witnessed the river's change, stood by the banks one day watching the water flow. For years, he had watched the river's strength, admiring its power as it surged toward the ocean, cutting through the land with purpose. But now, as the 5 smaller streams watered their respective fields, Ammon noticed something troubling. The original river, unimpeded and whole, flowed quickly and strongly toward the ocean, while the smaller streams seemed to be dragging, their water moving sluggishly. The smaller streams, though they watered 5 fields, were losing their strength. The water, once powerful and focused, was now scattered and weak. Ammon, deep in thought, pondered the situation and decided to call over a young farmer named Bran, who had been working with the diverted streams. "Bran," Ammon said as he motioned to the river, "which stream do you think will reach the ocean first, the one that stays whole or the one that divides itself among 5 fields?" Bran scratched his head, watching the 5 smaller streams winding slowly through the fields. He was uncertain, but after a moment, he said, "I thought the smaller streams would reach the ocean faster. They're spread out, covering more ground. Surely, if they can water more fields, they'll move faster, right?" Ammon smiled and shook his head gently. "Ah, Bran, it is easy to think that more spread out means faster. But you see, the effort divided across multiple simultaneous paths achieves breadth, but sacrifices the depth and speed necessary for singular achievement. The original river, focused on a singular path, achieves its goal with speed, but when energy is scattered across multiple directions, it loses its force. The river's strength lies in its unity, in staying focused and undivided. So too does our energy. When we divide our efforts, we spread ourselves thin and achieve less. But when we focus on one task at a time, we move with purpose and speed. Bran nodded slowly, understanding the lesson Ammon was imparting. He had often divided his attention between multiple tasks, thinking that spreading his efforts across many things would yield better results. But now he realized that focusing on one task at a time would allow him to move faster, with more energy and clarity. As the day wore on, Bran looked back at the 5 smaller streams. The sight of them, slowly winding through the fields, reminded him of the importance of focus. The original river, though it flowed only toward one goal, was powerful and unyielding. It wasn't just moving water, it was moving destiny. The lesson was clear. The energy of the whole is greater than the sum of the parts when the parts are scattered. Lesson: effort divided across multiple simultaneous paths achieves breadth, but sacrifices the depth and speed necessary for singular achievement.